Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation. Thank you very much for joining me. Coaching, life, business, and spiritual, also retreats. Today is the announcement for Prime Creator Films, boys and girls. I'm doing this in the backyard. I tore apart my room and I had to go outside because this wouldn't get done today, and I had a lot of stuff. I have a list here, and that's unusual, for things that I wanted to touch on. So Prime Creator Films is a repository of my ideas of things that I wanted to do, and it's also for Glenn TV, which is what you're watching now. Kind of calling this Glenn TV now because I mentioned that the other day, and somebody went, I like that, it is Glenn TV, and a couple people like that idea. If you do like Glenn TV, make a comment down below. I'm trying to figure out, you only get to do one name change, and I'm going to do a poll to see where direction feels energetically good. So Prime Creator Films is a repository for all kinds of different things. It's for Glenn TV, it's for other ideas that I've had and that I am having. And it allows me to have an extension of the things that I already do. It also allows me to have another unique place to be of service to others. I have some experience with crowdfunding and with acquiring cash for financing motion pictures. And the one that I had the most direct experience and the most experience on when I was helping a friend acquire a Formula One team, a failed Formula One team, and we were using branded entertainment as a leverage to buy the team. And we were approaching Coca-Cola and other like companies to be a featured sponsor, and that would have been enough monetization in the way of a contract, and Bernie Ecclestone was going to allow us to acquire the rights to have the team and to use it in lieu of having somebody support the team financially in the way of branded entertainment. That was one of many ways. If we had funded the film as well, because we were going to attach a film to that idea, and we did, and there was a treatment and attached A-list actors and writers and etc. directors. And in this mechanism, if that was funded in any part, that would have been enough for Bernie to trigger and have the team, and then the rest of the funding would have automatically come. So this was an interesting mechanism, and this experience was epic. I did all the introductions for the money. I did the introductions to the people that were doing the finance and distribution and all these types of ideas through friends and family and all the things and I seem to acquire people. I have 14,000 people, 15,000 people between people and companies in my phone right now in my contact management system. So I had a pretty far reach, and I used that to make more contacts, and we didn't acquire the team. It's crazy trying to fund things in that fashion, either through branded entertainment or just financing a film if it's not through crowdfunding, which is the way I really do recommend it. Because it's like, I have analogies that people don't like, but it's really like a racially select person going to a meeting of people that are discriminating against that subsection of that race. And I'm not going to qualify or quantify any like names or who, what, why, where, and when, but you know what I'm saying. So somebody who just has a snowball's chance in hell to go and get, hey, yo guys, how you doing? They're like, well, what the hell are you doing here? They might not harm them, but they sure as hell don't want them there. Film funding is the same damn way, and you are really lucky to even have conversations, and when you do, most of them want to be the last in, meaning if you need, let's say $75 million, $100 million, one of them will say, hey, I'll do $50 million. I'll get all the, we'll put all that into escrow via my attorneys and have the agreement in place, provided that escrow is only going to trigger when you get the first person to say, hey, I'm willing to put that money in there, and then my money triggers. And most of them are like that because they don't want to be responsible. And these are like family offices and mutual funds and things of that nature. Most of them don't want to put their feet in. They want somebody else to be responsible, put their feet in, and they can go, hey, plausible deniability. I waited till somebody actually put their money in, and I put our money in after the fact. So we already had somebody that felt like this was a good risk. And that's what we ran into over and over again. So really, boys and girls, if you're thinking of funding anything on any level, from the thousands to even $1 million, crowdfunding is really your way. Spike Lee raised money, it wasn't long ago, for a film, and he didn't even put the plot or idea up. He just used his track record. He said, yo, I'm Spike Lee, and here's what I've done. And I'm not going to tell you my idea because it's confidential, but I want your money. And I'm going to make you a film because I'm badass. And I think he raised, it was between $1 and $1.2 million, if I remember correctly. I think he was asking for a certain amount, and he went up. I think he went up to like 1.2 million, but it was something in that nature. And if you have a track record, or if you know how to do social media, or if you do enough pre-planning and you have just a little bit of money to do seeding, to be able to like put a small amount of money into social media and social media marketing and different types of marketing mechanisms to build a good social media base that are interested in your idea, and structure around that, and then do a hard crowdfunding push around that, and actually pay for ads to display your crowdfunding campaign. You can really use a very small amount of money to fund and get your money back and fund your project. Now, it needs to be well planned, and there's no guarantees, but to have no loss of equity and to be in a crowdfunding situation where you spent like $5,000 to $25,000 to get like $100,000 to $500,000 to do your project, if you do it right and you do some pre-planning, this can be done. And this is what Prime Creator Films was all about as well, as there is a product up there, a service to actually be able to talk to me and maybe do a little bit of pre-planning. And I've done this with a few people, and they're having quite good success. So that was another venue for many of the things that are in Glenn's brain that just need to go out and play and that are able to be of service to others. So that was the announcement, and it was pretty epic adventure trying to fund films and doing all that. And I do say trying because we got some lower items accomplished, but our goal was anything that could be high-end merchandising, A-list attachments for directors, actors, and so forth. Animation would be preferred. Toys and merchandising was also very, very, very preferred, because that's where the real money is in secondary and ancillary sales. And if you have those types of things, then you can go to distribution and say, yo, I have an attached A-list actor like so-and-so, and we're going to do this, this, and that, and we have 3 in the box, and they're all written by so-and-so, and we can go to Mattel and have a merchandising deal, and Bob's your uncle, and boom, they're like, oh, you want my daughter too, because here's the money. And he said that's not a difficult process to do. It is totally a no-brainer. So there are many ways to go about getting that done. I really do love crowdfunding because there is zero loss of equity. It is the most fair trade in our day of our time in what we can do right now. The loss of equity to bringing in investors to do something like that for a film or a reality TV project is you're basically selling out to the studio and they're doing a buyout. They're paying you as executive producer, and maybe you'll get a small piece of the intellectual property right assets, maybe a very like 5, 10, who knows what, it's whatever, how excited they are about the idea. But they're really giving you $10,000, $50,000 per episode, depending on the negotiation, to be able to buy you out. And you get a small equity right if you're smart and you know how to negotiate it, and you have a really good attorney and somebody to negotiate it out. Or you can actually fund these types of ideas, even reality TV show ideas, through the mechanisms I have mentioned. And that's what I wanted to share with all of you today, boys and girls. All that I wanted to get out of my head and get into the real world. So thank you very much for joining me again. Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation, coaching life, business, and spiritual. Forgive the backdrop. If I point it the other direction, there's so much sun that you can't see anything. And if you do like this video, please do like, subscribe, and share. And then down below in the description, there are all kinds of things going on. I haven't updated it for a little while. I have, but I haven't applied them to the 300 or 400 videos that I have up there. That's coming up soon. This epic adventure of getting this new car has taken a lot of time. I still have things to do in that regard. So I do thank you again for joining me. I'm just checking in to see if there's anything else that wants to share. So if you do have any questions on this process of funding or crowdfunding or best ways to bring like a project or idea, whether it's reality TV or a film project or even a short. Shorts are the best way to go about that, is to make a short and then own the intellectual property rights around the short and then take that short and push it to a movie. Somebody's going to come along and go, yeah, that's a badass short, because there's tons of examples of shorts that like Sling Blade, and I mean it just goes on and on and on, that people recognized and they licensed out the idea. And that's the best way to make your money, is to do really cool shorts, like little comedy shorts or whatever it is that excites you. And with those, you can perpetuate your idea so much faster with less monetary energy and less effort, because doing a short is so much easier than actually making a feature production. So thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you soon.